It's time for a change.
I'm telling you right now, this is gonna skyrocket.
Enough with the suits.
Warren Buffett? More like Little Miss Muffet.
This is the digital age.
Transfer my money or I swear to...
The power is at your fingertips.
I'm up $2,000 today, and I kid you not, I've got no clue why.
Welcome to CorTrades.
Yes, I've missed that intro. If you listen to Winging It, we found out that Berkshire Hathaway, the Warren Buffett founded fund, is the richest stock in the world, the most expensive stock listed in the world exchange. So that was crazy to find out. Austin Platts, I'm Dylan Corbett. Been a while, so good to get back. The market's been kind of boring lately. Not necessarily a bad thing, though, because after a bad week last week, we bounced back in a big way overall so far this week.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I haven't really been looking at it too much the last couple of weeks. I've just been throwing so much money in the market, and now that I'm moving away, I got to start not investing all my money every time I get my paycheck. So I think whatever I have in there right now, I think I'm just gonna ride with for the next few months, see how it goes. But I mean, I've glanced at it, here and there, and I mean, we've kind of been getting killed, have we not, the past few weeks?
Well, so here's an interesting timeline. So I basically remember it was crazy. So remember back in the end of January, that was the retail trading frenzy. That's when everyone, we were obviously in the market, but that's when everyone's like, holy shit, what is going on with GameStop? It's still kind of crazy that GameStop's $190 currently, but obviously a lot of the hoopla has died down. So I eventually said, screw Robinhood, I'm over to Schwab, and now I finally have a full month of data on Schwab, which we got to say it. Robinhood is just so user-friendly. I miss it. They're on to something over there.
No, I agree with you. I miss their user interface, but
yeah, so beginning of March, we're riding high, we're eating shrimp cocktails, and then all of a sudden we're getting kicked in the dick. I was at 54K. Remember, I put in 47.5K, got as high as 56, and then all of a sudden get down to March 8th, 49. I'm thinking, oh boy. Then midweek, we're kind of back, or mid-month, I should say, 56. Then we got crushed last week. I went all the way back down to 50, and now we got kind of 3K back of it this week. So a little bit of a roller coaster.
This is how much money you have invested?
So I put in $47,500, and I turned that into as high as, as 56, which is like 9K. And then it got as low in the beginning of March to 49, which again is on paper, but it's like, oh my God, for that split second there on March 8th, all my profits were gone.
It really is crazy how much money swings when you have that much invested.
Right.
You're making thousands one day and losing thousands the next. It's I get compound interest, and the more you have, the more you lose and win. But it's just crazy to think that's how much you're making and losing.
Yeah, and it's kind of it's similar to, you see the S&P have a good day, it's 1.52. So that's kind of my 1% today is what I made today, and that's $539. So I'll take it. So that's what we've kind of talked about in previous episodes. When I had a 4% day, one of those crazy ones, that's 3K, the most I've ever made in one day. But let's talk about OPTI. Obviously, you've been on this for a year. It's almost we're past the 1-year anniversary, but so it's a lot like these high growth stocks. It had this high where I think it hit almost 20 cents, if I'm not mistaken. You obviously got in, or I'll let you give the floor for OPTI here, of course.
Yeah, so it's been almost a year since I've been fucking around with this stock. I think I bought it originally at 16 cents. It got all the way down to 3 or 4 cents. And it got all the way up to 44 cents. Did you know that? 44.
Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out. Yeah, so it really hit the moon at one point.
Yeah, and I've made so much because obviously I never sold, and I only took profits once it was up. I even bought more at 15 cents. Right now it's at 14 and a half, but I feel bad because I told the listeners about it when it was at its peak, and they probably lost 75-80% if they invested. But I'm still very bullish on them because they aren't in any debt anymore, and they are just buying up these other companies. They're just buying all their competition. Like
Yeah.
every time they buy a company, their stock rises 20%. So I'm sticking with them for the long haul.
And you bring up a good point, because obviously with like the same thing with CAN for me. I'm like trying to tell you guys, like, holy shit, like there's just 5 straight days where it was 40% gains. And then of course, it like almost halved. So I have people texting me like, dude, should I hold CAN? Same thing. Like, yeah, I got in and I held. So I watched all those profits go down with everyone else who got in. But yeah, so I was also one of those people that got in with you on OPTI late, I should say. So I was down as much as 70% by, I bought 280 shares and it was a total of $60, and so I was down all the way because I know it's a high volatile stock. This week has been awesome. I'm like texting you. I'm like, dude, because you said it's been a huge part of your portfolio. You had been in the green all week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sticking with it. The name of the game, honestly, um is money management.
Yeah.
You buy it as it goes down. If you're confident it'll go up in the long run, it's just tough when you don't have money to buy it when it goes
To
down.
buy the dip, right? To double down.
So it's like, it goes all the way down to 10 cents. You're like, I want to buy more, but it's like, with what? Do I sell my others? And then it's like, you get all sketchy.
Right.
So invest in OPTI. This is not financial advice, but
course.
one day, we could be rich together and laugh at it.
Well, so I prepared some of this, and we talked about it on Winging It too. Netflix back in 2010. If we got in and we're like, fuck it, 100 shares of Netflix at $7, what's the quick math there? We would easily be millionaires because now they're trading at $540.
Holy shit.
Like, just think about it. Like, what if OPTI in 10 years exactly? We are laughing. We are laughing all the way to the bank.
I lost you. Can you hear me?
Yes, you came back right at the perfect time. But I was saying, like, what if OPTI is our 10-year whale? We're eventually going to be like, oh my God, dude, we were laughing all the way to the bank here.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? In 10 years, it could be $100, and
so we mentioned Chipotle was another company that's crazy. That obviously was in the early 2010s. Now it's trading incredibly. What about AutoZone? I think that was one of the 10th most expensive stocks too. It's just something like that where it's like crazy. Two companies where I've said earlier on CorTrades that I'm kind of overexposed. I like to keep things at 3% of my entire portfolio. Adobe, I just had such a long play on that it's I have like $5,000 worth of Adobe stock, and it finally went positive after a long time. So now I was like, shit, like down 7, 8, 9%. And this was probably a good like 5 or 6 month hold. And now finally we're up 2%. I'm wondering, when do I start shaving profits? But that's one of those big companies that paid off.
AutoZone is $1,400.
Can you believe that? Like, dude, you would think like Walmart's only like 150. Lowe's, I think, is in the 200s. But you can find some interesting companies that you like recognize from advertising, from everyday life.
Obviously, it has to do with the market cap and the amount of shares, but it's just funny how some of these companies just like never do stock splits, and like Apple's done them a ton of times, and their stock's only like 150, but they're worth $1 trillion, $2 trillion. It's just funny how stocks work.
So explain a stock split real quick, because you mentioned it. Apple did one this year and they've done a couple. Tesla just did one too. And they're already like, so Tesla's way more worth than we already imagined it to be.
Yeah, I mean, as the price goes up, they will do stock splits. So, if they cut the price in half, they'll double the amount of shares. So that way, it's more intriguing to someone buying it if it's a lower price. Yeah. And, in the long run, the more shares that people can buy, the more they'll be worth, kind of thing.
It'll stimulate more buying, right? And even just jack out the price more. It's interesting. Yeah, I wonder why more companies don't do that. Like Berkshire Hathaway has had to have never, if they're at 350,000.
they for some reason refuse to do it. I mean, if Apple never split, that'd be a good thing to look up. I'm gonna look that up. If they
Yeah.
never split, what would their stock be? I mean, it goes back to the market cap. Like it all is just related to the market. Like, that's really all you have to look at.
Right. So yeah, look that up. Bitcoin, obviously, it's had a good week. It's Dave Portnoy's been talking about this too because he's missed out on Bitcoin and he acknowledges it, and like he's always asking, "What's a good time to get in?" Because the chart is so interesting. Like it is a clear pattern when it's finally. It takes like a month and then it reaches a new high, and then it'll tank like probably like 10%, if not more. But then it always has that kind of resistance point before it shoots back up. So Bitcoin is at 59 basically right now, and it hit its high back on March 12th at 61,000.
Yeah, I remember the day. I think it was 2 weekends ago when it broke 60, and I was like, "Fuck yeah!" And then dropped back down to 50. Um,
Right.
I think this Bitcoin bump has to do with the Ethereum news that came out.
Yeah.
With Visa. I guess Visa is now accepting Ethereum or something like that. I didn't get much.
They're
Didn't
like
get
the
a
first major payment source like Visa, MasterCard, et cetera, to like it's not just Apple or Tesla accepting it as payment. It's like, oh, an actual payment system, like a payment currency, is now accepting Bitcoin too, which is crazy.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, so that juiced it up. Thankfully, I was getting a little bit worried, but we're good.
So speaking of cryptocurrency, I tweeted about this today on CorTrades. You can follow us there. It's ticker symbol coin, and it's literally the Coinbase company. What is Coinbase? You've probably heard of it. It's basically the biggest trading wallet of Bitcoin, right? It's like the first ever trading platform, I think, or at least it was one of the first when Bitcoin became a thing. Maybe you've got more info on that, but basically they're a big company invested in crypto, and they're going public on April 14th.
Yeah, I don't know if they're actually a wallet because crypto nerds get all weird when it comes to wallet and what's not a wallet, but they are the number one platform that you trade
Yep.
crypto on. They're very user friendly from what I've heard. I don't use them because I've heard a lot of people like the customer service is terrible. It might have improved as of late, but yeah, them going public, I guess, as the first crypto whatever. I mean, it's exciting and
Yeah.
ticker symbol coin. That's kind of sick. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm gonna have to get in on that, and it's kind of similar to I don't know. It's gonna be similar to like Robinhood, right? Because Robinhood's gonna be going public as a platform, but for just like
Are
regular
they?
stocks. Yeah, dude, they're
Shut
going
up.
IPO. Dude, they snuck in after the trading frenzy where they took all that crap. They snuck in a Super Bowl commercial. Yeah,
What?
there was a Robinhood commercial. It was crazy.
What's their ticker symbol gonna be? You think?
Probably rob you. It should be. Fuck.
ROBU.
Yeah, Rob. I assume you've still been holding Buzz. I got in on that's something we could talk about too. Kathy Wood's Arc Innovation. They just launched their space ETF, which Jim Cramer of Mad Money was kind of hating on. Shit, when I jumped in on Buzz after it got hammered that first week, I'm up currently 6% since we were talking about that.
Yeah, I'm in Buzz still. And I was really thinking about selling it and investing it into OPTI, but I forgot. um, every time I try to make a move, it's like 301 or like
Right, exactly. And
I'm
now
like,
I'm just like, well,
fuck.
fuck, I'm not gonna make a limit.
But I think honestly, Buzz is just too slow
Too
for
steady.
me. I need a roller coaster, something that'll double soon. So I'm probably gonna sell most of it here soon.
Yeah, I've got 6 shares of Buzz. Yeah, I'd like just having those 4 ETFs just kind of to watch, but yeah, it's very steady.
What's the
Um,
space thing you were talking about?
yeah, so basically, it was an ETF created by, and I guess ARK has their main ETF fund, and then they have sub funds like fintech, tech, space, different sectors. So Jim Cramer was basically like, there's not even enough space companies to have an ETF, but Kathy Wood just keeps proving Wall Street wrong.
Oh, that's pretty cool, actually.
Right. And just think
Um,
about it. It's all about space exploration. If you believe that is where the future of mankind's headed, then it makes sense to invest in that.
yeah, I mean, honestly, great idea. I would have never even thought of that. Like, Aaron told me about a 5G ETF, 5G in
Yep.
phones. And I like invested it for a little and got out, and I think it's up like 50% or something crazy. I'm like, 5G is the future. What was I thinking?
Right. Let's talk about something you did nail. Walgreens, you said it was going to have a day, a month. You were right. I think it did 5% the other day. It's up in double figures percentage since you called it out. Ticker symbol WBA.
Yeah, I mean, I invested in this because I thought all the shots would go through Walgreens. Um, and obviously that would boost, their stores, but I haven't seen any of the shots, like even rumors of them going to Walgreens, unless I'm just out of the loop. I feel like people go to, I don't even know, where do people get their shots?
I'm pretty sure. So I have a buddy up here who was we put an offer in a house. We're waiting to see if we outbid people. But
Really?
yes. So the housing market's a whole different story. We're having to bid for houses over the asking price, which is crazy. But so I got my phone on me. Yeah. So my buddy's a pharmacist. Yeah, that makes sense. And he administers shots at Walgreens. So. And
Oh,
I've got it pulled up here. Past 3 months, Walgreens up 37%.
wait,
Um,
really?
yes, they've been having a couple months here.
Yeah, I'm so out of the loop. My YouTube dude swore that he was gonna double his money on Walgreens. I think he got in at like 40, and it's at 55. I'm gonna hold it at
Yeah,
least till like September, probably. We'll see. We'll reconvene then.
yeah, sure. As it's